today. This is something that we wanted to spend the time and energy to do this right, as Mom and Dad would both have it. So, and just a couple of items of business. The restrooms are over in the building downstairs. So, and then after we share our memories and stories here, there's food set up in the upstairs of the Welcome Center. So,
and we're going to ask people to share their stories as well. Yes,
and we will be asking people to come up and share their stories and memories as a part of this. My brother Matt has put together a slideshow that will probably spur others as you see them. So, my name is John, and I'm the eldest. We agreed to do this as in chronological order. So, as I've grown into adulthood and become a parent and grandparent, I've increasingly come to appreciate the many lessons and gifts that Mom and Dad have given us, especially considering our diverse natures and life paths. Yet through all of life's turns, there are common threads that they wove that helped us become who we are. From an early age, they encouraged and supported us in following our dreams and passions, and at the same time, they gave us the latitude to follow our own path, even when it was one that would not have been theirs necessarily. Mom and Dad, you taught us the value and importance of commitment to family, friends, and community, not by preaching from the pulpit, but rather through your example and your actions and how you lived your lives. You taught us the importance of listening, connecting, and building relationships, empowering, supporting, appreciating us and others as we made our way through childhood into adulthood. You taught us how to work hard and try to make a better world through doing the right thing for others and for the planet, and to bring integrity, excellence, and humor to all that we undertook. You taught us how to agree to disagree, to not make issues personal, and how to invite and give others the space to join in to participate in the way they were best suited. You taught us to stand strong in our beliefs and values while not imposing them on others, and to find ways to include rather than exclude. You taught us the importance of listening, connection, and relationships, and you allowed and supported us in finding our own path, even though you weren't necessarily always in agreement. You supported and affirmed us by participating in our passions with us, even when it pushed the boundaries of your comfort zone. You also taught us the value of hard work, patience, and persistence, how to work together toward common goals, how to find humor in the face of adversity, and at the same time, how not to take situations or ourselves too seriously. So, to illustrate with some stories and examples, Dad, in spite of the defense industry you worked in, you supported Mom in her anti-war activism, and me in coming to my own position with regard to the Vietnam War and the draft. You are aware of Mom's involvement in the anti-war movement and supported her despite the potential risks it posed to your career. Despite many heated debates at the dinner table over that war, you were at my draft board hearing, and you testified in my behalf about my beliefs and commitment to nonviolence. You taught me so many skills through working on our projects together and through including us in yours, building tree houses, a shortwave radio kit, ice rinks, a mini bike, the screened-in porch, and many others that I can't even remember. At the same time, you gave us the latitude to make mistakes and learn from them without judging us in doing so. And so when Dad and I built the first tree house, it was, of course, quite elaborate, but that got me started, and I think by the time we left 211 Greenwood Drive, there were probably half a dozen tree houses that I continued to build in various places around the property. Not quite as fancy as the ones that he built, but helped us build, but he turned me loose. one of the projects that he did as a boy was to make a motorbike. And so he had saved the washing machine engine that powered it, and our first task was to rebuild the engine. So I learned a lot about that from him. Then we went out to a junk shop and were looking through possible bike frames to put it on. He suggested one that was very much like the one that he and Uncle Roger used to make the mini bike. It had a spring fork and things like that. But I couldn't quite imagine using, how would we get a motor that size onto that bike? And instead, I chose something else that was a very, very homemade mini bike frame, and probably not as stable or as well built as that bicycle would have been, but he went with my choice and was able to do that. I wouldn't always follow through and finish projects. The shortwave radio that he showed me how to build was left lying for probably a year or a year and a half until I got my interest back and finished it off. He always had ways of solving problems, and one of them, Mom loved big rocks, and out in the field there was this gigundo glacial erratic, and we had to figure out how to first get it out of the ground, but then also get it back to the house. And so through engineering and a little sweat, we were able to get it onto the tractor and skid it across the pond and put it in our driveway turnaround, where it became a centerpiece. He loved technology, and so when Mom presented him with an electric carving knife, he went down and he had many patents in his name, but I don't think he ever got a patent for the electric fork that he put together to go with it. And, you know, Mom always liked fields of wildflowers rather than mown grass, but he accommodated her in doing that. And from Mom, we all got a tremendous love of nature and appreciation of that. And so I feel like those were gifts that will last the rest of my life, and I hope that I can pass those same ones on to my kids and grandkids.
I'm the shortest in the family. I always had to, well, my brothers would walk along. The reason I'm a runner is because I always had to run to keep up with them. So I'm Tracy, and some of you know I recently ran for political office. Just as Mom ran for town hall council and won and lost, I ran for Colorado State Representative and lost. I bring that up because as a politician,
You're not.
you have to, or not, you have to learn to tell a personal story, and it usually is something that you overcame some adversity, poverty, or something like that. And this was really hard for me because I had the perfect childhood. I had two parents who loved and respected each other for 57 years. We always had food on the table. We had no money worries. In fact, we hardly ever even fought. In fact, Mom used to say, "You kids are too good." One of my first memories was of Dad was he would sit me on his lap in front of the reed organ. This is an organ that his mother played down in the Ithaca church, and he would sing nursery songs to me. And there's one that he always sang. It went, "A froggy goes a wooing and he did go, uh-huh, uh-huh." I hated that song. But Dad was a very gentle, very quiet man. You know, he'd just use a few choice words or a little glance at us, and we knew where we stood. We also called him Silly Billy. He had 2 false teeth in the front. He lost one in a biking accident when he was a kid. And we'd sit around the dinner table, and he'd pull out those 2 front teeth, and he'd kind of put them on his side, and he's like, look like this, and make us all laugh. And there's also many a New Year's Eve that we'd see Dad dancing with a lampshade on his head. But the term honest as the day is long doesn't begin to describe Dad. In the summers, in between college semesters, I worked at Moog Incorporated, which was, Dad was the vice president of engineering at Moog Incorporated. And one time, I was in the drafting department, and I brought home 1 mechanical pencil lead, just 1 lead, not the whole pencil. I brought one home from Moog. And Dad queried me on that, and he said, that's stealing from Moog. And he made me take that 1 pencil lead back to Moog and buy my own. That's how honest he was. But I'm most grateful for Dad, because at a time when women were entering male occupied fields was a rarity, he encouraged me to do anything, be anything I wanted to be, a doctor or a lawyer. But he said, you know, if you start out in engineering, you can always transfer to another field. And he was so right, and I'm so thankful for Dad for encouraging me at a time like that. Mom, on the other hand, told me I needed to get a career, because she said many of her friends had grown up, had gotten married, had kids, got divorced, and then were destitute. And so she demanded that I get a career when I graduated from college. I used to call Mom, I used to say, Mom, you're my favorite mom in the whole wide world. And she'd say, well, I'm your only one. But there she was, 4 little kids, 2 years apart, and we would, and Dad would often be away on business trips. And I remember her just yelling out, you guys are all an experiment. We had frequent trips to nature areas. It was great because they were cheap. We kids could run around, and Mom could regain her sanity in the middle, in this beautiful nature area. But it also instilled nature in a love of nature in us, and we are all so very appreciative of that. As a teen, I took after my grandmother, my mother's mother, who was in her interest in fashion. Mom, on the other hand, was charitably, you could say charitably, she was fashion challenged. And there was one time we took up skiing, and there I was in my latest ski outfit, yellow ski outfit, nice little belt, matching hat, mittens, just looking great. And these teenagers, you really care about that kind of stuff. And there was Mom in her dumpy brown coat that hung down below her knees. She had striped, brown and white striped bell-bottom pants that were too short. She had matching hand-knitted orange, gold, and olive green mittens and a hat that went to a point. And to top it off, an aqua green hand-knitted scarf. And then she'd yell from the ski line, hey, Tracy, come join me on the chairlift. Yeah, Mom was unique. There was one time Matt and I went around to the local farmers and asking if we could pick up horse manure. And they were going, well, why? And we said, well, for our mother's birthday. Yeah, 20 garbage cans full of well-aged horse manure for her garden. She was thrilled. Mom was my best friend.